Folks, I hope you're doing well today. Well, since the last video, it's about 3 hours later. It's 12th of the 3rd, 2020, at 24 minutes past 10 at this moment, PM that is. And the picture you see on this video is Smiley Riley. Riley, he's my 5th little boy. He's Lucy's baby. And the vets called me to get Lucy done because they wanted a bit more money. So, yeah. That wasn't a good situation, but I kept Riley. So, yeah. Because that's the point. When they had pups, it was always a decision that I would keep one of the last litter that the mums have. That way it's easier to let the other pups go. So there you go. That's Riley that we're seeing there. But this one is a tricky one because this one is talking about homosexuality and Christianity. The reason why it's a tough one is because the Old Testament is quite harsh. It's an abomination to God, etc., etc. But let's make something perfectly clear at the start. All sin is an abomination to God. All of it. All sin is disgusting to God. And we have to be cleansed in order for God to look at us. So we have to repent. Be covered by the blood. So, homosexuality is, to all intents and purposes, a sexual sin. And the same as any sexual sin. With regards to the degree of sin. I mean, we know that there's only one unforgivable sin, and that's to blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, although there's never been clear at all as to what that really means. So we know that homosexuality is not doing that, so therefore it's forgivable. The difficulty is that if somebody, well, actually, let's go back a tiny bit. Not if somebody, let's go back a tiny bit before that. Most people, if they became a Christian as an adult, have committed sexual sin. Most people have had sex with someone who they're not married to. Therefore, well, this is another point. We're going to go into that point first, I suppose. Marriage isn't what the world sees as marriage. It's not a union by legal union of two people. As I sort of explained in the previous one, when Abraham went into Sarah, they were married. So anyone you have sex with, you're married. The reason why it's a sin to have sex with someone who you're not properly joined to is because if God hasn't joined you to that person, if God hasn't said, that's the person that I want you to be with, you shouldn't be having any sexual contact with that person in any way, shape, or form. To do so is sin. You're behaving as if that's the person. You're saying, this is my wife, and God is saying, no, I haven't chosen that person for you. You are now saying, this is my wife, and God is still saying no, and you're still saying, this is my wife. That's it. Because if God hasn't chosen that person for you, you should be nowhere near that person. So that's how you can have sex before marriage, even though you can't actually have sex before marriage to a certain degree. It's complicated. It's not a simple one. But again, the church should have pointed all this out years ago. Yeah, it should be pointing this out on a regular basis to people that, what marriage is, and the fact that, as I said in the previous one, the majority of people in the world are married to a number of different people. We're only married, as in spiritually, to one person, but we're joined as in marriage to a number of different people, and that's not good because we're still spiritually joined to those people, but wrongly so. And so, homosexuality is no different to that. It's sin, it's sexual sin. You're being joined to somebody who you shouldn't be. Now, with homosexuality, that's because of gender. That's not because that God hasn't said that this is the person you should be with, even though, again, God is saying this is not the person you should be with. But it's more than that, it's gender as well. It's a gender-related issue. But it's sexual sin. So it's the same as any sexual sin. Tricky thing is that someone who is actively gay, as in someone who is in a gay relationship, is in the sort of relationship that if they consummate that relationship, they are committing sin. So therefore, you can't be a Christian and be an active homosexual, as in active by being in a homosexual relationship with that being a sexual relationship, because that sexual relationship is sin. So you're saying that although it's sin, this is you, and because this is you, you're going to honor this being you, and you're going to continue doing it because it feels natural to you. Now, I'm not going to judge that it feels natural to people, and I really do feel for people who are in that situation. It's not something that I would understand. And my whole being is screaming at me that something that isn't counted as normal really in society, or certainly wasn't, is telling me that this is who I am and this is normal to me. That this is who I really am. I've never experienced that, so I don't know what these people are going through. What I do know is that these people are human. They have feelings. They cry tears. They experience love, sadness, happiness, joy, horror, agony, and bliss. So these are human beings, first and foremost. These are people that God loves as well. The problem is with this whole situation in society, many gay people think that society has done them a favour. Well, actually, it hasn't at all. Because by saying that homosexuality is normal, you can't be a homosexual and a Christian because of the reasons already said. But society says you can be a homosexual. Christianity says you couldn't. So if you're going to be a homosexual according to society, it means that you're destined for hell automatically because you can't be a Christian. But because society says it's acceptable and it's normal and it's healthy and it's to be celebrated, etc., etc., you should be proud of your sexuality. The fact you're gay, you're proud of your sexuality. Again, that doesn't make sense. So where on earth did this come from in society that you should be proud of your sexuality? Are straight people supposed to be proud of their sexuality? If not, why gay people? Because it's a way of celebrating homosexuality. I said the problem is society is trying as much as possible to go back to the days of Sodom, where sexuality is to be free and expressed however you want, and it's all to be celebrated. And it won't be long before other forms of sexuality, bestiality, and all the other types are celebrated as well. Because it's just a case of someone famous, someone popular really popular, coming out as someone who enjoys bestiality, and it will therefore be pushed by society as something we should accept, as long as it's not hurting the beast. And then we have other forms, as long as it's consensual between two people, no matter what age they are or anything, because we've already gone from no matter what gender they are, it's going to go to age at some point, isn't it? Just like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the point. The devil wants to keep getting us back to that stage. It's been slow. Of course, it's been slow because, after the judgment that God placed on Sodom and Gomorrah, it's going to be a while before people completely forget that, so that they can go back to that. So the devil's had to do this nice and slowly. But of course, that's his plan. So let's look at the point of, is homosexuality natural? Is it a case where people are born gay? Well, if you look at the point of view of natural in that way, you have to go and look at the point that if every person alive, say 300 years ago, was completely and strictly gay, would humanity have survived? And the answer is no. So if humanity wouldn't have survived if everyone was gay, then homosexuality can't be natural. If the point of sexual activity is to produce children, then any relationship where you couldn't naturally have children and continue the human race can't therefore be natural. It doesn't mean it can't feel natural. And that's the point. We can't say it doesn't feel natural to those people because it obviously does. So, that really is the situation, that we know of it. But don't stand with placards, showing hatred towards gay people. Don't do any of that rubbish. Have an understanding of the situation. I know that what I've just said in the last 10 minutes about homosexuality is both true, but not the complete picture. It's not going to be, and it's not going to be, I can't understand it from their point of view, so I can't tell it from their point of view. God does. God understands it. He understands it from their point of view. And I know it's a tough one. It really is going to be an incredible tough one, because it's like, okay, Paul said in his writings, it'd be better if we were single. Now, if there was a situation where the Bible said sex is an abomination to God, you need to be single. But of course, man is attracted to woman, and man naturally feels that he should be with woman. This has been the case for centuries. Forget about the homosexuality thing. I'm just talking about from the rest of us, our point of view. If that had been the case, then yeah, that would be us in the position that homosexuals are in now. So try and understand that from the point that if the Bible was saying that, you'd be thinking, what on earth? Why on earth has God put men and women together on this planet if the whole idea is that we shouldn't ever be together? Yeah? And from a gay person's point of view, why on earth, we're supposed to be made in God's image, and we're supposed to be known by God before we're even born. So God knew me, he knew I'd be gay, so why did he make me born? Why did he make me be born if he knew I was going to be gay, and then expect me to not be with a man? Or from a lesbian point of view, with a woman? So try and understand it from the point of view of the people that you're talking about and the people that are in the discussion. And when you do that, it's a tough situation. It's not an easy thing to look at. It's not an easy thing to judge. And I feel for the people. I really do. I know it's not easy. I mean, especially with society shoving it in your face. Yeah. And that's why I don't like all this stuff where society shove it in your face. Because, yeah, okay. Legally speaking, from a legal point of view of most nations, homosexuals have as much right to be together as any other couple. But that's a legal position. So, okay, that's the case. But shoving it down our throats is not a good thing from a number of points of view. From the Christian's point of view, no, thank you. We don't really need to see that all the time. From a gay person's point of view who wants to be right with God, they don't want to see that all the time. They don't want to be told by society that they should be having sex with a man, and yet they're trying to be honourable to God and not do that. So, of course, that's not good. That's not easy. I would, however, say I don't feel quite so much for people that are bisexual. I mean, partly because I really can't understand bisexual people in any way, shape, or form. So if someone listening to this is bisexual, please feel free to comment and explain to me how that works. Because the way I see bisexual people, and I'm probably completely wrong, is that they're just people that want everything they can get. Then they're not willing to choose to be straight or gay. They're like men, but sometimes they're like women. And, so therefore that sometimes they go with men, sometimes they go with women. Again, it's all about Sodom and Gomorrah. And all you need to do is add the age thing, take away the age thing, say, it's illegal if they're under a certain age, and you've got Sodom and Gomorrah. Just add animals to it, I suppose, as well. Because in Sodom and Gomorrah, everyone was having sex with everyone. So really, those who are bisexual are far closer to that than the rest of us. And so that's why I just don't understand that. It makes no sense to me at all. I understand it if you feel that your whole person says that you're gay. Whether you're male gay or female gay, I understand that. So as my whole person tells me I'm straight. I can get that. No, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't get that in any way, shape, or form. But it's sexual sin. But again, you've got the gender issue, and you've got the whatever else is thrown in with that. Because, as I say, it's an added thing when you say I'm bi. So then you've got these people now like Sam Smith. He's had a few hits, but he's not counting himself as male or female. He's counting himself as they. Which is non-gender completely. So, for goodness sake. That's just throwing something else completely in there, isn't it, really? Society has got a lot to answer for, that's a certainty. But again, if society has, then the church has. Because there's no way, shape, or form society could have gone down this avenue if the church was right over the past 20 years. There's no way, shape, or form that could be the case. But God wanted this society to go in this direction for some reason. I don't understand why. But obviously, if things have gone this bad and the church has been so quiet for this to happen, then God wanted that to happen. For what reason? I don't honestly know. It's so complicated. I don't understand it. I don't understand the will of God. I don't understand why, for the past 20 years, He's allowed His church, certainly in the more democratic parts of Europe and America, to be spiritually dead, mainly. How is that serving his people? Yeah, you come and give your life to God, and you end up in a dead church. I don't get that. So there's a lot of things I don't understand right now. Whether I grow to understand it, I don't know. But be loving to one another. Yeah, if you're supposed to love your enemy, then showing love and compassion and mercy and grace to people that are homosexual is not too big a thing to ask, really. Remember the fact that they are human beings and they have emotions, the same as everyone else. Yeah. Why would you want to push them to the point where they want to kill themselves? Because potentially by harassing them, that's what you're going to do. So why would you want to do that? You might not agree with the choices they make, but so what? Does everyone agree with the choices you make? Probably not. Does that mean that we should harass you? No, of course not. So be loving, be graceful, be merciful, be understanding towards people you don't necessarily understand. You don't need to understand everyone. And realize that as much as you need to learn, they need to learn as well. They're in a position they're in. They're in a very, very difficult position because society is screaming at them to be proud of their sexuality. And the Bible is saying it's an abomination. So, yeah, to say these people are right to be or should be confused is an understatement of fact. So anyway, that'll do for that one. I think that's given the point across that God wanted me to put across, hopefully. I hope so. And I hope it's not come across as judgmental to anyone because that certainly wasn't the intention. Will you take care? I will speak to you soon. God bless. Bye bye.